Welcome to your Daily Writing Habit, episode number 45. I am your host, Christine Whitmarsh, and people call me Christine Ink. That is spelled I-N-K, like the stuff you write with. Every day, I am sharing with you the writing habits I've learned over my 18 years as a ghostwriter, book coach, and author. I have found that 3 types of habits in particular can have a huge impact on your success as an author. Those 3 things are writing fundamentals, productivity, and mindset. Today's writing habit, and the last in a series I've been doing this week, it's called, Does Anyone Actually Want to Read the Stuff in My Head? So it addresses mindset and it answers the question, does anyone actually want to read the crazy stuff in my head? And the irony is, the crazier, more nonsensical, personal, candid, and let's face it, as writers, maybe sometimes sort of strange, the things that we're thinking of putting down on paper are, maybe the more we should consider sharing them with readers. Because as they know, and as we know, creativity takes courage. Being a writer turns courage into words. So how do you get the guts to do that, to turn the stuff that you're thinking into words on the page? This week, I've been sharing 5 things to think about when making that decision, and we are up to thing number 5. Think about all the authors before you. Many of them famous, some of them legendary, no pressure, right? But, the point is we share a common thread with them. They also thought their thoughts were horrifying and strange. Many of them did. I would imagine most authors, no matter how famous, feel very vulnerable about sharing the things in their heads. So the thing is about these authors, even whether they're famous or not famous, they wrote these things down anyway. They found the courage to put it down on paper. That's what turned them from ordinary people into authors. And in doing so, in finding that courage and writing their thoughts and writing their stories, they made a difference in the world. Speaking of other authors, and certainly on the non-famous end of things, here's my own personal confession. Of my own 4 books, not counting the dozens that I've ghostwritten for others, one is a novel. Out of all those 4 books, it's kind of strange because fiction is like one of my favorite things. And it ranks pretty high on the crazy scale. I mean, my 2 protagonists are delusional, murderous criminals. But as it turns out, my readers fell in love with them, which is really strange because they tell me how much they love these characters. And I'm just like, that they kill people, right? But they just love them. My middle-aged female readers even wanted to mother one of them. It was really interesting. You never really know what your readers' reactions are going to be to your work until you actually put it on paper, put it out there. And it can be just a really fun, exciting, and sometimes amusing experience. But one reader, one woman, she's like my super fan. She connected so deeply with the characters that she ended up sending me a McDonald's gift card based on a particular thing that happened in the story. It's called Canyon Road, if you want to look it up. Canyon Road by Christine Whitmarsh, if you want to look it up on Amazon. And you'll find out why I got a McDonald's gift card from one of my fans. The point is, my characters and their escapades were weird, dark, and intense. If I'd have thought logically about it, if I was logical and responsible and should I write this book? I don't know, it doesn't make sense. I would have come up with at least a dozen reasons not to write and publish Canyon Road. But instead, for some of the reasons in the list above, especially the fun part, I chose to take a chance and empty the crazy thoughts in my head onto the page. And later on this year, I'm doing it all over again, this time on a even more intensely personal level, sharing my own life story in my memoir. Some of the stories in my memoir, believe me, I thought I would never share these stories. But I'm glad I made the decision to do that because it's worth it. And I hope it's worth it for you too. So that has been our series this week. Does anyone actually want to read the crazy stuff in my head? And I hope I have made a somewhat convincing argument for you that they do actually want to read the crazy stuff in your head. Thank you for joining me here today on your Daily Writing Habit, where I'm helping you solidify your writing habits so you can finish writing an awesome book that people will love and they'll be your fan and maybe they'll send you a McDonald's gift card. I don't know. And if you know someone else who's writing a book, I'd love it if you would share this recording with them so they can do the same thing. Until tomorrow, happy writing.